Hey everyone, so this is Shishir Tiwari this side. We are presenting on what is generative AI, everything you need to know. I would like everyone in my team to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Akombi.
I am Nathan Hutt.
Hi, this is Shruti Narla.
So this is our team. We'll be talking about benefits and risks of using generative AI technology in various industries, how we can possibly ensure that it is used ethically and responsibly. So let's talk about that. So we will just talk about generative AI's evolution. It has started somewhere around 1932 with early foundations of what it is right now. Initial work on computer-generated art, music, and literature by pioneers like Alan Turing. Alan Turing invented the Turing machine during the World War II. Rule-based systems, 1960 to 1990s. Development of rule-based systems for generating simple graphics, text, and music. Use of statistical methods like Markov models for data-driven content generation and deep learning breakthroughs happened around 2010 to 2014. Emergence of deep learning techniques like CNNs, RNNs, realistic content generation, and what it is right now is based on GAN, general adversarial networks. Introduction of general adversarial networks for high quality content generation, leading to novel architectures and applications. So let's talk about what is generative AI. Generative AI can produce text, images, audios, and synthetic data. Advancement in GANs and transformers enhance generative AI. Transformers enable unlabeled data training for in-depth answers. Challenges in generative AI include accuracy bias and hallucinations. Generative AI transforms multiple industries. How does generative AI work? That's one of the bigger questions right now. So early generative AI in the olden times when it began, it used to have complex tools. So pioneers improved user experiences with plain language prompts and for customizations. Because if you go into detail, people cannot understand binary code, but computer only understands binary codes. Customization includes feedback for silent tone. Generative AI simplifies content creation and customization. User-friendly interfaces has what it is what that has revolutionized the creative processes. So let's talk about generative AI models. Generative AI processes text and images using algorithm. NLP, that is a natural language processing, converts character into vectors for text analysis. Images are transformed into visual vectors. Caution needed for biases from training data. The data that has to be trained is supposed to be non-biased. Neural networks generate realistic faces and data. Transformers are one of the main reasons that enable content generation across domains. Generative AI revolutionizes a content creation, which we'll talk about the industry implications in some time. So how neural network work are transforming generative AI. AI content generation use rules-based or expert systems. Neural networks mimic human brains just like how a human thinks, but are and were limited by data and hardware. Big data had improved hardware model, made neural networks practical. GPUs are just like CPUs with a graphic interface. So they have also accelerated content generation and parallel processing. GANs, as we talked about, and transformers are advanced AI generated content. So what are DALI, ChatGPT, and the BART that has been in the discussion right now for some time now? So DALI is used to generate visual images and from word prompts. ChatGPT is a chatbot. BART is Google's chatbot, which was launched in response to Microsoft's Bing introduction with ChatGPT. So let's talk about DALI. DALI is a multimodal AI that connects vision, text, and audio for creative content. Built with OpenAI's GPT in 2021, DALI 2 was released in 2022. It generates images in multiple styles. If the prompt is perfect, showcases potential for multimodal AI with text and visuals, demonstrates the AI's progress in potential in creative content in today's time. Let's talk about ChatGPT, which has been in the news for some time now. ChatGPT is chatbot built on OpenAI, and as we all know, DALI was also generated by OpenAI. The latest version of ChatGPT is 3.5, and OpenAI enables interactive fine-tuning of text responses for dynamic conversations. GPT-4, that is the latest premium version of ChatGPT, was released on March 14, 2023, about a month ago. ChatGPT uses conversation history for contextual responses. GPT's integration in Bing by Microsoft shows growing adoption of AI in search in today's times. And let's talk about Bard. Google is one of the largest pioneer in IT industry. So unlike ChatGPT, Google did not release a public interface. Microsoft, when they collaborated with ChatGPT into their Bing search, Google Bard was launched, but Bard's hasty launch caused a stock price loss, and Bard faced criticism for inaccurate claims, highlighting risks of untested AI chatbots. I'll now be asking Nathan to move forward and talk about benefits and limitations of artificial intelligence.
Hi, so when it comes to benefits of artificial intelligence, as you can imagine, repetitive tasks are being replaced at a very rapid rate. AI is set to replace 300 million jobs that basically do the same thing throughout, and artificial intelligence has gone to a point where it can simply do it more efficient than humans can, which brings us to the next point in that it increases productivity. Because the monotonous, boring tasks are replaced by artificial intelligence, humans are now able to work on more creative and strategic tasks. As you can imagine, automation has been heavily impacted by artificial intelligence because the AI is able to basically train and have these robots do more complex tasks and solving problems. Deep learning, machine learning, these concepts are able to solve very complex problems at a much faster and more efficient rate than humans can. And lastly, global defense. The military has always been early adopter of high technology, and artificial intelligence is no different. My bad. Limitations of artificial intelligence. Despite the advancements in artificial intelligence, there are several limitations that we must consider. Bias is the main one. AI, if it is trained on a data set that is biased to a particular group, it will predict biased behavior. And that is something that companies that Shishi mentioned, such as Google, are trying to combat. Creativity, AI is predictive based. It uses the data that it has been trained with to predict what is most likely to come next. And this does not allow it to be as creative as humans or even creative at all. And lastly, the source of the content, while it pulls all of the resources from different sources, sometimes it's difficult to know where to find out exactly where the AI got the information that it is providing. And the concerns, there are several concerns, especially in the business industry. AI is a very disruptive business model, as Google is now experiencing. Inaccurate information could also be provided. As Shishi touched on earlier, hallucination is a real problem for AI. And lastly, potential for misuse. Once again, if it is trained on a biased data set, or even denial of service attacks can happen. I'll now pass it on to Emmanuel.
All right, so I'll be speaking on some example. I'll be speaking on some example of generative AI tools. There are tools for generative AI that can produce text, image, music, code, and voice, among others modalities. To learn more about this, consider the following well-known AI content generators. Tools for text generation include Less, GPT, Jasper, and AI writers, Midjourney, Stables Deviations, and DALL-E 2 are image generating tools. Ampere, Databot, and Musenet are examples of tools for creating music. CodeStarter, Codex, GitHub, Copilot, and Tab9 are examples of tools for creating code. The voice Syntax tools, descript, listening, and broadcast AI are examples. Companies that produce AI chips design tools include Synapse, Candice, Google, and Navidad. Next, generative AI by industry. Because new generative AI technologies have the potential to substantially alter numerous industry and use cases, they have been compared to general purpose technology such as steam power, electricity, and computing. It's critical to remember that similar to earlier general purpose technologies, it frequently took decades for people to figure out how to best organize workflow to benefit from the new strategy rather than simply accelerating certain discrete steps in the current workflow. Various sectors may be affected by AI application in the following way. To create and interpret contracts, review evidence, and develop arguments, legal companies use generative AI. So manufacturers incorporate data from cameras, X-ray, and others measurements using generative AI to discover problematic parts and the root causes more accurately and economically. Architects utilize generative AI to create, modify prototypes more quickly. Generative AI is used by gaming firms to create game materials and levels. All right, so I'll be passing it to my next colleague, Sushi.
Hi, this is Shruti. Let's look at a brief overview of the history of generative artificial intelligence. One of the earliest examples of generative artificial intelligence was the ELISA chatbot created by Joseph Weizenbaum in the 1960s. However, earlier implementations used a rules based approach that had many limitations, such as a limited vocabulary and lack of context. But with advances in neural networks and deep learning in 2010, the technology was able to automatically learn to parse existing text, classify image elements, and transcribe audio. In 2014, Ian Goodfellow introduced GANs, which provided a novel approach for organizing competing neural networks to generate and then rate content variations. Since then, progress in other neural network techniques and architectures has helped expand generative artificial intelligence capabilities. Techniques include variational autoencoders, long short term memory transformers, diffusion models, and neural radiance fields. Next. Let's talk about best practices for using generative artificial intelligence. It is essential to consider accuracy, transparency, and ease of use when working with generative artificial intelligence. To achieve these factors, it is crucial to label all generative artificial intelligence content clearly for users and consumers. Vet the accuracy of generated content, consider how bias might affect generative artificial intelligence results, double check the quality of generated artificial intelligence code and content using other tools. Learn the strengths and limitations of each generative artificial intelligence tool and familiarize yourself with common failure modes in results and work around them. Let's talk about the future of artificial intelligence. The depth and ease of ChatGPT have shown tremendous promise for the widespread adoption of generative artificial intelligence. However, we need to ensure that we can roll out this technology safely and responsibly. The industry and society will build better tools for tracking the provenance of information to create more trustworthy artificial intelligence. Improvements in artificial intelligence development platforms will help generate research and development of better generative artificial intelligence capabilities for text, images, video, 3D content, drugs, supply chains, logistics, and business processes. Generative AI will change how we work. Grammar checkers, design tools, and training tools will all seamlessly embed more useful recommendations directly into workflows. These are the references that we used while we were researching about the generative artificial intelligence topic. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have a better understanding of the generative artificial intelligence.